My name is Dickie Bielenberg. I'm the Managing Director of Customer Value Group. We're a relatively new startup organisation with a big heritage as we spun out of a big consulting organisation. We're a software company focused on best practice credit collections, accounts receivable management and customer service management. As I said, we're relatively small. We have 15 employees and our turnover for the first year of our business will be around about £1 million. We have been using Sage CRM for about 6 months now, having implemented over about a 2 to 3 month period. The reason we put in Sage CRM was because we came out of a consulting organisation and as such had very large quantities of customer data and customer information kind of in our heads, as well as information that we wanted to start collecting around financial performance of the individual potential customers. And so we spent the first month or two using Sage CRM to bring in all that information that was dotted around in our organisation, bring that into Sage and start organising how we were going to prioritise our sales and marketing processes. We looked at a number of products, including Salesforce, Microsoft CRM product, and a couple of others, and we ultimately chose Sage for three reasons. The first reason was we felt the functionality, in terms of the richness of the functionality in cutting and dicing and funnel management and reporting, was simply a lot stronger in Sage. The second thing that we thought was important was that the ability to quite easily create marketing and communication campaigns within the software that we wanted to use. So that we found was much more user-friendly within the Sage product. And the third area was around the management of workflow within Sage, or the prompting and the diarization of activities we felt was simply stronger in Sage. We have a relatively simple sales process whereby we have front-end business developers who look at the system to establish what information we have available about individual customers, and then they might communicate with those customers, whether they communicate via email or via post. They will then need to follow up on those emails and follow up via telephone calls. Each telephone call will potentially lead to further activity in terms of following up. So we use very simply the Sage system to manage that whole process, which means that we've been able very dramatically to increase the level of sales and marketing activity at the front end of our sales process, which has led to direct benefits in terms of the volume of activity and the volume of sales opportunities that we have in our pipeline and the volume of sales opportunities that we've been able to sign up. I use the Sage system for 3 key areas of activity. Firstly, it's clear that everybody in the organisation needs to have transparency about what everybody else is doing with all the clients and all the opportunities. And so I manage all my personal activity vis-a-vis communicating with clients through Sage so that everybody can see what I'm doing. It also means we have a record of every time I'm communicating with a client, so that we're not mis-marketing with the same clients. So that's very important to me. The second thing that's very important is my ability to have complete transparency as far as our sales funnel is concerned. And so if there were 2 or 3 key reports that I use on a more regular basis than anything else, it is around funnel management and around the ability to actually have a look at your funnel as a snapshot. And then, if you need to, you can drill through and find out, what's going on behind each of the opportunities. And the third key activity, obviously, is to understand what kind of volume of sales, front-end selling and front-end marketing is actually happening. And to have a look at some of the effectiveness of that front-end marketing. So those are the key areas that I use the system for. In order to implement Sage, we looked at a number of different partners. And one of the things that was most important at the forefront of my mind was the fact that we wanted to implement as vanilla a version of the software as we possibly could. We, as I said earlier, are a relatively young organisation, and we're absolutely dead keen on using the CRM system in its most basic form initially, at the same time as having the opportunity to expand the usage into the full areas of the functionality. We looked at a number of partners in terms of implementing Sage for us, and we found that C-Logic were the most pragmatic in terms of their ability to just look at the business in its context and say, okay, these are the bits of Sage CRM that we think are important. We also had some very good training from C-Logic, and were able to get up and running pretty quickly.